Welcome back, Pokemon Trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coat's on back order, and it's time for another news update video thingy. Now, first thing I'll mention, as per usual, I do have a booster pack of the Pokemon TCG I'm going to open up near the end of the video. For your chance to participate and enter to get the online code card that I'm going to get out of this pack, just stay tuned till the end and participate in the question of the day, which I will give out as I open this up, as I say, towards the end of the video. Now, first of all, there is a lot of good news to get through this week, and there's some pretty cool announcements, some pretty kind of almost mind-blowing type stuff, so let's get right into it. Let's start with some kind of lighter news in Pokemon Shuffle. Now, there's 3 special stages currently on the go, and they're lasting until next Tuesday, April 26th, and the 2 regular kind of stages are Landorus Therian form and Manaphy. Those are kind of basic battles. You go in, try and beat them, weaken them down, catch them in a Pokeball. There's also Zygarde in its 50% form. That's the big serpent form that we've seen in X and Y so far. That's an Escalation Battle. And the way the Escalation Battles work is every time you defeat Zygarde, the level of the stage actually goes up by 1, and the higher the level gets, the easier Zygarde will be to capture. The percentage goes up. But also, by hitting certain level marks, you're going to get special rewards given to you, things like experience boosters, and I think you even get a max level up item at one point as well. Now, in general anime news as well, it is Team Rocket Week on Pokemon TV. And I actually have downloaded the Pokemon TV app, and it wasn't until I was putting this news together that I realized I actually haven't used it yet. So I should probably get into it, and Team Rocket Week is a good time to get in, because who doesn't love Team Rocket? Except for in the Black and White series when they actually became competent and they weren't Team Rocket anymore. But anyways, it is Team Rocket Week. Now, I wasn't sure where to kind of categorize this particular news information, but since the first revelation of this Pokemon will be in one of the anime feature films, I figured this is a good spot to mention the new information they've given out on the mystical kind of unknown Pokemon Magearna. So they have actually revealed the types of Magearna now. There was some dispute and speculation about what it was going to be. So it is a Pokemon, it's categorized as an artificial Pokemon because it was constructed by people 500 years ago. The typing is Steel and Fairy. The first ever Steel Fairy type we've ever had, except for Mawile and Klefki. But anyway, the third ever Steel Fairy Pokemon has been revealed to be Magearna. It is 3 foot 3 inches, 177.5 pounds. It's going to appear later this year, in an expected release of the next Pokemon movie coming out that is also featuring Volcanion as well. Now, in video game news, I've got a link in the description to get some more information on this, but a basic general overview says they have done the analysis of the Kanto Classic online competition that I participated in, where you can only use the first 149 Pokemon with no held items, and single battles, 6 versus 6, so they actually mentioned, and I saw this in the breakdown online as well, Dragonite was a very popular, most used Pokemon, and I encountered a number of them. And the fact that they were that often used, and we had no problem with them because my Machamp could just ice punch them, really says a lot. I'm actually kind of overstating the fact. Dragonite, if it got one Dragon Dance up, was a pretty beastly powerhouse to deal with, but we held our own pretty well. I found if I had predicted Dragonite was going to come in, I had my Machamp out, go for low sweep to break that multi-scale ability, and then go for an ice punch. We're outspeeding thanks to the low sweep speed drop, and anyway, so yeah, Dragonite was quite often used. We dealt with it pretty well. But if you want some more information and some more kind of breakdown, give you some ideas for some teams that you want to put together for your own online battles, there is a link down in the description below to go to the analysis of the Kanto Classic. Now, in Pokken news, another Championship Series event has been announced. It's going to take place at DreamHack Austin in Austin, Texas from May 6th to 8th this year. I'm getting all stumbled over my words. Now, DreamHack is it's like a fighting competition that's actually pretty big over in Europe. And in Austin, DreamHack Austin is the first time it's going to be in North America, so that's pretty big news. And as always for these championship events, you can participate in the Pokken Tournament game and enter for your chance to win special prizes and invites to the Pokemon World Championships taking place in San Francisco. I believe it's in August. So if you want to participate and get a chance to get to the World Championships where all the big stuff goes down, that's your way to do it. Go in and try and enter and get some invites from the DreamHack Austin Pokken Tournament Championship Series event. Now, in TCG news, this is where all the big news comes. Well, not to downplay the previous news, but this is where other big news is coming in. First things first, we're going to start nice and late. The top decks from some Pokemon TCG State Championship events that have been held down, of course, in the United States have been uploaded onto Pokemon.com, and I've got a link in the description to this as well. Check the description, there's links for all sorts of stuff this week. If you want to see some top decks that were used at the State Championships and the winning decks, give yourself some ideas for some pretty interesting strategies and combos you can put into your own decks. Just check that link. You can see all the top winners. A lot of popular choices are still being used. I saw like Night March was one of them, and another Seismitoad with Giratina-EX shutting down so many different cards of your opponent. There's all these different options and features and ideas, so just check that link for some ideas and see if you can put something together for your own decks. Now, also in TCG news, actually more TCG Online news, a beta test of Pokemon TCG Online for Android tablet devices is currently underway. So you can actually, as long as you can connect to your internet using your tablet, wherever you go you can play the Pokemon TCG Online, which is pretty cool. And since it's like an online database kind of thing, you log in, you have all of your collections, all of your decks, all of your cards available on the go, as long as you can connect to the internet. So if you want to get some information about this beta test, there is a link to this as well in the description. Click that, you can get the information on how to get the beta test, and they say they're hoping for a public release of the full version later this year. Now, the first big news. First bigger news. I keep downplaying the previous news. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. A new Pokemon collection box has been revealed. It is Ash-Greninja-EX. In this Ash-Greninja-EX box, you will get the foil promo card featuring Ash-Greninja-EX, of course. You'll get the oversized card of Ash-Greninja-EX for your collection, 4 Pokemon TCG booster packs, and of course the online code card to unlock Ash-Greninja-EX in the online Pokemon TCG. So it's pretty cool. They're putting the, what we're calling, I guess, Pokemon Fusion kind of thing, they're putting that into the TCG. So there's some debate about, are Sun and Moon going to feature fusions of trainers and Pokemon, and is Ash-Greninja the first way they're introducing this to the world? And it's starting to seem kind of viable now. Like, I never really put much thought into it. I'm the kind of person that's like, let's wait and see what the official release tells us and go with that. But there's a lot of official stuff coming out for Ash-Greninja, as well as, I'll mention in a bit, the new forms of Zygarde. So I think there's a chance this is all coming into play, possibly in Pokemon Sun and Moon. Of course, we'll have to wait till holiday season this year to find out for sure. Now, the next big news. It's all revolving around the Fates Collide expansion coming out in a little over 2 weeks from today. I think it's May. I don't want to say because I don't know for sure, but early May. I think the first week of May it's going to be coming out. What they have actually done is given some more information on Pokemon Online, Pokemon.com, and in the Fates Collide expansion, there are 120 new cards being introduced, 5 Break evolutions, including but not limited to Lugia Break, Carbink Break, and Delphox Break, and 13 new Pokemon EX, 3 of which will be Mega Evolutions. Of course, we've already seen Alakazam and Mega Alakazam, but also added to the list are Audino and Mega Audino, as well as Zygarde Perfect Form. Those are all going to be Pokemon EX as well. Of course, we do have this weekend at my local Pokemon League at Heroes Beacon a pre-release for Fates Collide, which I'll be doing some filming at. So next Wednesday I'll be having some nice coverage, showing off a lot of these new cards as the players open them out of their packs. And stay tuned for that, but in the meantime, we're actually going to take a look now at the new cards they've revealed on Pokemon.com and do a little quick breakdown of strategy ideas for these new cards. So let's check those out. And here we see Audino-EX, the first of the new Pokemon EX we're going to look at for this week from the Fates Collide expansion. It's got 180 HP, colorless Pokemon, and for 1 colorless energy, Drain Slap does 20 and you heal 20 from Audino-EX, which isn't too bad. And Do the Wave for 3 colorless energy does 60 plus. This attack does 10 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon. Of course, the obvious way to power that up would be to add the Sky Field from Roaring Skies to have up to 8 Pokemon on your bench, doing an additional 80 damage. And of course, Mega Rayquaza does a lot more damage with its own attack using that Sky Field, but anyway, Audino-EX can do some pretty good damage if you have a decent bench loaded with Pokemon. Next we see the Mega Evolution, Mega Audino-EX, goes up to 220 HP, retains its colorless typing, and Magical Symphony for 3 colorless energy does 110. Now, if you played a supporter card from your hand during this turn, this attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Of course, don't apply weakness and resistance. So that pretty much explains itself. You just gotta play a supporter, and you're gonna damage a bench Pokemon. Certain things could block that, of course, like Mountain Ring or the Mr. Mime with Bench Barrier, but if your opponent doesn't have that in play, you can, of course, just do that free 50 damage simply by playing a supporter card. Generally, almost every single turn, you're gonna play a supporter card anyway when you're playing TCG. Next, we see the Zygarde-EX. It is the perfect form of Zygarde, 190 HP, fighting type, and has 3 attacks. For a single fighting energy, Land's Pulse does 20, and if there is a stadium in play, it does 20 more damage. Here we see a fighting and colorless does Cell Storm for 60, and you heal 30 from Zygarde-EX. And for 2 fighting and 1 colorless, Land's Wrath does a pretty standard, pretty decent 100 damage coming from this Pokemon EX. There's not much more to say here, but there is something coming up in a moment to mention about Zygarde-EX as well. First up, here we see a couple of Break evolutions in Carbink Break, the first one. Fighting type, 110 HP, and it's interesting that it's fighting type because I think thus far the only Carbink that we've had have been fairy type. So it can be a fairy type with the weakness to steel and resistance to dark, and then it can break evolve into a fighting type actually, suddenly dishing out fighting damage. Anyway, for 1 fighting energy, Diamond Gift does 20, and attach 2 energy cards from your discard pile to one of your fighting type Pokemon. It's interesting they don't say basic energy, much like the Garchomp I mentioned in last week's TCG online match. It lets you even choose special energy from your discard pile. And it's only doing 20 damage, so it's not as much as the Garchomp, but you're actually putting 2 energy cards each turn. This could be really good energy acceleration if you use something like the Battle Compressor to discard those special energy from your deck immediately. Next, here we see Delphox BREAK, a fire type with 180 HP, and it doesn't gain a new attack, but it gains the ability Flare Witch. That sounds like some sort of a project. Once during your turn before you attack, you may search your deck for a fire-type energy card and attach it to one of your Pokemon, shuffle your deck afterwards. Again, much like that Carbink Break, this is some energy acceleration. You can power up your Pokemon by attaching 1 energy from hand and attaching a second one directly from the deck using Delphox BREAK's Flare Witch ability. Now here we see an item card which is pretty cool. It works with Zygarde-EX. Technically you can attach it to anything, but Power Memory says the Zygarde-EX this card is attached to can also use the attack on this card. You still need, of course, the necessary energy. So for 2 fighting and a colorless, all cells burn. 200 damage, that's twice the power of Land's Wrath, and you discard 3 energy attached to this Pokemon. So kind of a drawback, but for a 1-turn attack of 200 damage, if you have a way to suddenly accelerate the energy back onto Zygarde, this could be a pretty powerful attack to go for. The only downside I'd say is it does take the only held item that Zygarde can use, but if you don't need to give it anything else, Power Memory might actually not be that bad of a tool to give it. Now the final card they've revealed from the Fates Collide expansion is another one of those double-sided stadiums. This one is Chaos Tower. Of course, a double-sided stadium, when you play it, you actually choose which direction it faces, and each side of the playing field has a different effect. You'll see the bottom here says, this player's Pokemon can't be asleep or paralyzed, and if they're affected by that, you remove those conditions. So, no sleep or paralysis on this side. The other side says, this player's Pokemon can't be confused or poisoned. Interesting they don't mention burn. In fact, how often do you see burn these days in the TCG? It's interesting that it was never actually in the first base set, but anyhow, that is pretty cool. It's going to cancel some special conditions on either side, so you want to be careful how you play that too, because if you're working with a deck that focuses on, say, poisoning, like for example, what would be a good one? I'm blanking, but there's a very standard deck that works with the poison, but anyhow, say for Ariados or something, you don't want to give them the immunity to the poison. However, if they're using something that would actually poison you or confuse you, you might want to give yourself... I'm getting all mixed up. You don't want to give your opponent the thing that's going to cancel your own deck strategy, but you also want to give yourself the thing that will cancel theirs. So anyway, those are the cards that have been revealed from Fates Collide, and they're all looking pretty cool and pretty interesting. And with that, it's now time to open up the Furious Fist Booster Pack of Pokemon TCG and see what cards I get, and offer up the online code card to one lucky viewer. To participate for a chance to get this code card, just respond to the question of the day I'm about to give you, leave a comment down below, and use hashtag QOTD in your comment. And on this coming Sunday, which is April 24th, I'll be doing a random draw of everyone who participates with that hashtag in their comment, and one of you will have the chance to get the online code card I'm going to pull out of the pack today. Now, the question of the day for this week, it's actually relating to pretty much every previous question of the day. Along the way, what I've been doing is I'm asking people to leave these comments, and I randomly select one name, and I'll just leave a response to that comment, letting people know, hey, you've won. And if YouTube allows it, I'll send a direct message, like a private message with the code, so that only they have access to it, of course. Other ways I've had to sort of do it are maybe connect to somebody through Twitter or email, because YouTube maybe doesn't have the connection to send a message from me to this person. But either way, I've been doing like more direct messaging. And I'm still going to do that, of course. I'm only going to make sure the code goes to that one person that actually is drawn to receive it. But I haven't done any sort of public announcement of who wins. So the question of the day is, would you like question of the day winners to be announced in the following week's news update video? Because what I can do maybe at the start of the video is, as I mentioned, I've got this pack to open, but last week's winners were, and I can list them off. So it would be a nice little kind of a shout out back to you guys for participating, and there's a lot of you actually that participate almost every single week to try to get the code card, and I really appreciate that, because the idea I had when I started this, from my understanding, the way YouTube works is the more comments a video has, the more visual it is, like in suggested videos and related videos for people that actually maybe are not subscribed or they haven't seen it yet. So by getting comments from you guys, it's a way that we can interact, which I like, but it also is a way to sort of publicize my video a little bit broader and get more people looking at it. So as a nice little kind of throwback to you, I'd actually be cool with mentioning whoever wins at the start of each video. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. Like I say, just leave that comment down below and include your hashtag QOTD, because I do a search on the comments to see who all has participated with the hashtag for a chance to win the code card. So yep, just leave your response to that. As far as opening this pack, occasionally I rotate the camera around and set up the table and stuff. I'm kind of lazy right now. Plus, I have to edit all this stuff, so I'm just going to open it up right now. Now I'm going to slide the chair forward so we can see a little bit better. And I usually can't aim it properly, but let's see if I can actually aim the cards better for you. So first things first, of course, if I can actually get this, that didn't cut right. We do have the code card. So again, this goes to the side until Sunday, April 24th, and a chance to win is up to you guys by participating in that question of the day. So let's shuffle these around here. First card is, we have a Plusle. Next is Clefairy. We have Eevee. I like that ability too. Anytime you attach a basic energy to this Eevee, you can actually search your deck for an Eevee evolution of that type and just play it right on it. That actually gets past the can't evolve on the first turn rule as well, because the ability sort of overrides that little restriction. Next we have an Electabuzz, a Gothita. The uncommon cards begin with a Jaw Fossil, good for getting your Tyrants into play. We have a Super Scoop Up, definitely useful for any, say, Crobat decks you might want to be running. And we also have a Fossil Researcher, even better for getting your Tyrants into play. Reverse foil card is going to be a Pancham with actually bad influence evolution. This is another one of those things that gets past the can't evolve on the first turn. This can be in play for this first turn that you have it. If there's a dark type on the bench, you have an energy attached, you can simply evolve this right into Pangoro. Anyway, the rare card of the Furious Fist pack is a Thundurus with a Raging Thunder Punch, 30 plus 30 more if the target has a tool attached, Lightning Slam for 100, and this Pokemon can't use Lightning Slam during your next turn. So it's a one-turn use, and use it the following turn after that. So those are the cards I got out of the booster pack. And again, your chance to participate in the code card to win that on this Sunday, April 24th. Right side, yep. I thought the news was turned around. Question of the day is, would you like question of the day winners to be announced in the following week's news update video? Leave your response to that, use hashtag QOTD, and go into the running for that code card that I just pulled out of that Furious Fist booster pack. With all that being said, we're going to end off this week's news update video. Come on back to the channel tomorrow as we continue our Pokemon Blue playthrough. Things are getting pretty interesting. If you saw yesterday's episode, you saw we actually made it to the power plant, and we're looking to go find Zapdos and add it to the collection. We're a little under-leveled. Zapdos is level 50. We're not even breaking the 40s yet. I don't know how this is going to go. Actually, I kind of do. I already pre-recorded. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you how it's going to go. You guys are going to come back tomorrow and check that out and see how well the team does in capturing Zapdos. With all that, we're going to end off this news update video, everybody. Thank you for checking out the video today, and I'll catch you next time.